year, and those guys kind of just like adapting. Also Miami, Miami has completely revamped their whole way of playing. Less to none pick and rolls, less to none ISOs, getting more into like, I would say kind of like how you guys are playing, just pace, getting the ball movement. If you ain't got catch and shot, catch and get off of it, catch and drive, get off of it, get to the second, third side, and you got Norman Powell playing exceptional basketball. Obviously Bam does what he does. Let's kind of like talk about those three teams.
Yeah, I think that's like a really interesting point you're making. And I want to say that, but I don't want to sound like arrogant. But I feel like when teams watch us in our run last year, right? A lot of teams I felt like in front offices and coaches watch our group, and the way they're watching is like, the way they're playing, we want to play that way. And they look at a guy like me who's not like this like super scoring, go get you like they look and say, we have a player on our team who's just as good as Halliburton or Siakam. And if we got the right pieces around, we can play this up style way and up pace, like fast tempo way.
Yeah.
So I watch a team like Phoenix, who I love. I love watching Phoenix play. And I see, their coach, Coach Ott came from Cleveland, who we beat.
Yeah.
So I think he saw the way we play and has tried to move that. And that was something me and Jenny Buchek, our defensive coach, talked about a lot, was you watch these pressers from these other teams, especially in media day. I remember I was watching Book, they played like in China, and he said like, oh yeah, we're gonna try to play it more up tempo and we're gonna pick up full court. You see what Indiana's doing, I think the game is going that way. And I feel like our league, as you know, is such a copycat league. You mentioned
it's a copycat league.
You mentioned it earlier when you talked about Phoenix playing without the two bigs. Now everybody's going that way. I feel like we didn't win. Like usually you steal from the team that wins, but you see all the success that we had. Teams are kind of taking that and turn it into their own thing.
Yep.
No, absolutely. And you don't have to sound arrogant, because that is what our league has always been a copycat league. Always, no matter who. Like, there were teams like in the 90s, they tried. Listen, one thing you have to have, Reese, and you have to have the personnel. There were teams, because of the Bulls were winning so much, that people tried to run a triangle. And you don't have Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not gonna work. There was teams in the 80s that wanted to play like Showtime Lakers. You don't have Magic Johnson. So like there, and then, even in the early 2000s, people wanted to play, 7 seconds or less. They wanted to play like the Phoenix Suns. You don't have Steve Nash, but you got to have the personnel to do it. And I think, like you said, you don't have to sound arrogant. I think it's absolutely true. Everyone talked about the way you guys played the game of basketball. It looked fun. It looked like something that you wanted to implement. One, you got to have the personnel, but also it's hard to scout for unpredictable.
Exactly.
And like I said earlier.
Like, what do you do? I mean, what do you do in our scout? Because we run, I run drag. Yeah. I get drags. We run Spain, but like it's in the flow. We're not, we don't call much.
Right, it's in the flow of things. So I think a lot of teams, you even look at the Spurs. We just got done playing the Spurs not too long ago, I think on one of our back-to-backs, and they're kind of playing kind of that same way. Obviously they have a unicorn alien in Wemby, but they have a lot of guys, Fox, Castle, Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson, all these other surrounding parts that's like getting the ball up fast. Okay, you ain't got shot, get off of it. Quick pick and roll, drag, blur screens, slip screens, like they're doing all of this stuff, and that you have to have the personnel to fit it, but it's also a good way to, you have teams that have, scouting. You can't scout that. It's not like, oh, you come down, hey, they're running a loop to a drag. Okay, make sure the low man gonna be there every time. No, it's just hard to scout that. So I definitely give credit to you, Coach Carlisle, and y'all on this is where the game is headed. So
you think it's that? I think it's. I mean, you can probably speak to it as well, but like I think the game works that way defensively too, where we try to copycat and steal that. I think it's funny. We talk about the in-season tournament game. After we played y'all, everybody came out blitzing me, and it wasn't working. And I would look at the bench and be like, Anthony Davis ain't here, and Bron ain't the big.
I'm telling you.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
And that's what a great coach and a great coaching staff, and usually your best players, or if you have a couple guys, they're able to understand what's best for their team. Yes, we all want to play like the Pacers. Yes, we all want to play like the Showtime Lakers. Yes, we all want to play like the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sorry, but Mahomes is not at the helm.
Yeah.
You know, so like we have to be able to, you know, and it's unfortunate because there are teams and there are clubs and things in all different sports that want to try to copycat exactly what they see because it's working, but you have to identify with what you have. You know, and if you're able to identify what you have, then you can make the most of what you got. So, but it's great, man. You guys play a great style of basketball. Me and Steve talked about it a lot last year, and obviously can't wait to get you back on the floor because the game miss you and seeing the way you play. I would love to talk about. I brought it up earlier. I said New York Knicks fans love their favorite guy. I would love to talk about you being the villain, man. Like, how do you love having that hat on? And where did that come from? Like,
for sure.
I mean, I see your pops too. I feel like your pops back in the day was like that too. Like, you know,